System is that we have lifted 10 million out of poverty.
There's no evidence to support.
You have mentioned that.
No.
But you see, no.
I said there was a fact check, and 10 million more people had fallen into poverty.
If you put what moved them back to poverty, and that's what we should be able to address. You understand? And that's also what if we maintain.
Ẹni òfò ni ẹ ṣòfò láyé ẹ tún ṣe lálìkìyàmọ̀ ẹ̀yin rádaràda wọ̀nyí. Ẹni òfò ni ẹ ṣòfò láyé ẹ tún ṣe lálìkìyàmọ̀ ẹ̀yin rádaràda wọ̀nyí. Ẹni òfò ni ẹ ṣòfò láyé ẹ tún ṣe lálìkìyàmọ̀ ẹ̀yin rádaràda wọ̀nyí.
Allahumma amen. Now they see the ways that are defending Tinubu. He said they were somehow, right? They believe that it is because we don't like Tinubu. That is why we are exposing every flaw of his illegitimate regime. No, but are those flaws real? Are these court jesters real? They are real. Clowns. Did you hear the guy? He said, number one, there is evidence that rather than for people to be taken out of poverty, more people have been dipped in poverty. Evidently. APC, Ebekebe have impoverished millions of Nigerians. And somehow, they are telling themselves that they have lifted Nigerians out of poverty. And he was being told that there is no evidence. Then he started all this balablu nonsense to try to make sense. The more he tries to explain the jargons, the more senseless he became, obviously. He said we cannot use the same poverty rate. I understood, right? Poverty rate from one state to another, because their major sort of priority, right, of the scale of preference of what makes them poor, they are different. Okay. So he said he went to Oxford last week. I went to Oxford last week. So he came back with a data that said, oh, Bayelsa, they are poor. They have housing problem. They don't have out-of-school children problem. Sokoto, they are poor. They have out-of-school children problem. Oh, he's sounding like he's intelligent. He just came back from Oxford, right? He must be intelligent. So this was him trying to pretend to want to make any sense at all. How much is this pot? He said the baby is fine. What is the correlation? So, okay, you went to Oxford. You came with the data. And then he said, he now presented the data to Tinubu. Tinubu now ordered all the states to start using this data. You said, no, yeah, give evidence. How many a year? How many of these people's lives have you actually impacted positively? And you can show us evidence. I mean, it's sad. And what makes it even more sadder is that there are people who believe that these guys are somehow doing their best. Have you heard that before? Oh, about easy. How you won't try? They are doing their best. Well, Nigeria is not easy to rule, my brother. You just say easy. It's not easy to rule. I don't think it's easy to rule, truly. Because psychologically, you can never believe your luck. Like if I was stealing from people, I'll be working with, in fear. But Nigerian criminal politicians, they don't seem to be working in fear or anything. Right? So somehow, they believe that they are supposed to be like walking and watching their back. Unfortunately, if they ever watch their back, they will see the same people they stole from singing their praises. On your man, death, they shall die. On his pampas, they shall buy. Ebola on your pampas, Bola on your pampas, Bola on your pampas, Kolu on your pampas, they shall die. Singing praises, so you're ready to sniff the pampas. Say, Baba, I can go I am it all right. You know, like that's actually a thing. The product of Tinubu's political academy, they are of different classes. But the lowest of the rank, the violent ones, the omotas, about for many pampas, if you can just give me your pampas, I hear me done better. My life done better. I just do all your shit, Baba. Honestly, Baba, me enjoy, Baba. Thugs whose lives have been swapped, and they are, the uniformed army of these roads. Tinubu and his gang. Oh, like father, like son, by the way. Did you hear what they said that Seyi Tinubu did? A few months back, the National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, right? They were to have their election, their national election, to elect their national executives, including their president. But Seyi Omodadi was interested in the seat. So he appointed somebody to go on and become the president of NANS in Nigeria. But for some reason, that person got sort of like overpowered, so they lost. And because the person, Seyi Tinubu, wanted to become the next NANS president in Nigeria, right, lost out. Seyi then declared the election invalid. And since then, he has been using the DSS as the first, from the office of the first, from the office of the first son of the whose Republic of Nigeria. I don't know what you should call it, right? Sorry to those of you who are still passionate about that contraption. Or it should not be federal. It should be the Fool's Republic of Lige. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Like clear that. Seyi used his own office. It doesn't even have an office, does it? No, it doesn't have any office. Anyway, but we can still say the office of the first son of Nigeria mobilized the DSS to hunt down these guys. But somehow, it's like they were able to keep kind of maneuvering it until they choose a date for inauguration. And then it was on the day of their inauguration. He didn't bring DSS this time to beat them. He brought his own thugs from Lagos, Amaraba. They beat all these guys up. Baba, the same Aluta spirit of students. What kind of people are now students in Nigeria these days, by the way, right? Thugs came to the National Association of Nigerian Students inauguration ceremony in Nigeria, and they got away. One president it won't inaugurate. Baba, you could say the guy stole phone in Computer Village. I can show you the video. I don't think even the picture is not too graphic. But here, on channels, right? One of them is stabling the situation.
And if care is not taken with the involvement of the president's son for the past 1 year, he has done everything to make sure that the organization is porous. What he stands to gain, I don't know.
Are you afraid that NANS is beginning to, would you say it is losing the real reason why it was formed? Because the real reason why NANS was formed, as far as we know, is that it was for the welfare and the growth of Nigerian students. Yes. But now it does appear that there is heavy political interference. And people are always very interested in who the leadership is, who they support politically, etc. Do you fear that this is making NANS lose its focus on the primary reason for why it was established?
In fact, let me say, is the organization is almost losing it because these people have programmed the organization in the sense that if you do not have government backing, I am afraid, you might not be able to become anything in the organization, except few that still have the genuine interest of the student at heart. And that is the reason why the interest is becoming so high. Everybody is now tagging themselves to one political party or the other. The organization is already losing the purpose of its creation. And if care is not taken with the involvement of the president's son for the past 1 year, he has done everything to make sure that the organization is porous. What he stands to gain, I don't know. What he wants to achieve, I don't know. But the question I want the general public to ask him is, what is his interest in NANS? He wasn't a stakeholder. He didn't school in Nigeria, because the only thing that can qualify you to be a stakeholder in the organization is if you have served in the organization. And the only thing that can qualify you to be a member of the organization is if you are a student schooling in Nigeria. You are a member. That means you have rights to contest in the organization. But if you did not fall in this category, there's no how you can term yourself a stakeholder of the organization. And you now hide under the power that you have to be terrorizing some set of people in the country that is everybody's security is meant to be secured by the president of Nigeria, the country. So I'm afraid, like you said, the organization is almost losing it. It's almost losing it.
If we lend ourselves to innovation, we can create wonders. Yeah, it's a successful, again, a town hall, different from Bulaba.
Laba. So the young man that got elected, he was supposed to be sworn in. They call him a Pedro Chibuzo from Delta State. He is now the guy that Seyi Tinubu has been sending his goons to let him know that he can't want something and Chibuzo wants something. Seyi wants something. Chibuzo wants something. Even if the entire process and participant goes for Chibuzo, what are you going to do about what Seyi wants? That is what they are now, like, the impunity, the lawlessness, what do you want to do? In this country, you won't try me, you won't face Seyi. You get that thing. So it is what it is. And this is just the beginning. Whatever you are seeing them do right now, this is just the beginning. It is going to get worse. It is. And somehow, in the last 2 years, I kind of feel like they've won for life. Yeah, people can complain, people can say whatever they want. They will never have what it takes to confront us. That's the way I think they probably see it all, or see everybody. You know what I mean? You have the Dangbana Shokos, the Jagabandits, the family, and the rest who have for a very long time they've entrenched themselves in every system. They entrenched themselves in it whenever they have the opportunity. The last one they had, which has sort of lasted longer than anyone could imagine, is that of Lagos. So if Seyi wants to, you didn't school in Nigeria, you did not serve in Nigeria, you did not belong to these NANS and what have you. What is his interest? Is trying to mark his territory. You know what I mean? They've told him that he's like his father. He's a lovable guy. He's a philanthropist. And with the way Nigeria is set up, when his father is gone, he is capable of replacing his father of being a godfather. So this will be the time for him to begin to assert himself, mark his territory. There will be more from that. For those of you who have witnessed this, there is more from where that comes from. Sorry, God, no allow me then kill you. So what will leave them? I just said something about Delta now, right? The last we heard of Delta was when Okowa, Sheriff, to avoid jail, to avoid being so sort of like stripped of all he stole from Delta states, Okowa, Sheriff, who is the current governor, Okowa, the former one, they were in the news 2-3 days ago, right? Talking, I mean, that they have decided to join the APC and their sins were to be forgiven. Anyway, their boss, the ex-convict, James Ibori, was in a church where this sheriff was. And kind of, he was like, I'm going to bring James Ibori from your PDP. I'm going to bring him to APC as well. But he's already part of the APC. But that's not why I want to play you this video. I need you to watch his countenance, watch his body language. I want you to listen to what he's saying, how he's saying it, and then maybe I can ask you something after. So pay attention. Nigeria will make it, honestly. Ogechi, God bless you, ma'am. Thanks so much for that super chat. It's quite generous of you. Bless you, ma'am.
You can always say the truth. If you don't gather there and you are sentimental, the family will break. The center cannot move. I didn't want to speak here, but our bishop says speak, so people will hear. So that when our leader leave here and go home, you see your family today is scattered. But when you go to Abuja, you speak in different voice, with different voice. You are speaking here, other people are speaking here. So you will speak well. It is now the time for you to lead us well. If you are a leader, because it's so central, I don't know. No, if you say it's always lie. Who will make out the Lobo? Who will make it? You must talk to your elders. Even though you take advice, counsel from your elders. And I ask you one thing, because when you are leading your children, some are in APC, some are in Labour, some are in here, and I ask you, when is going to join us? And I know you will join us very soon in APC. Is it not true? I will receive our leader in Jesus' name. But look apart. Let us continue to live together. I'm not saying this so that there is something to take home. You have created a big family, and a family need to be united. I know you want to respond. You can't respond. You will not Papa and Pikin. It's an opportunity to tell our leaders some of these things. And that's why I was mentioning all this. You have tried very well, but you need to try more. You need to try what? Unite Tinubu. You are loved. But the love will not be complete if the people are divided. So I thank you when you said that to speak. I know, but I have to say it. So we are here for the vigilance of our leader who has been a very good life. There's no better time to die. When you die, and like we have said, he lived well and died well. So one day we will still go. He has lived about 70 years
that God is so benevolent. And I think it is the God of the New Testament, to be precise. He's a very calm,